Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Star Trek Club. This is Captain Logan. Right to my right there is Brandon Grimm.
It's me!
And on the Starship Enterprise, it's Adam Meredith. And how are you guys? It's been a little while since we've had any Trekness.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Glad to be here.
It's good to see you. And I haven't seen either of you guys hardly at all since the last club. I guess I saw you a couple weeks ago, but
Well, yeah.
for some After Dark or whatever. But
Yeah.
But we're back.
It's been a minute.
Tonight is going to be a 2-episode night, and we're going to spin a wheel of just 8 episodes this evening with 2-parters. So there is a chance at, actually a good chance, the majority of what's there are first episodes, because we had somebody that put on nothing but first episodes
the pilots.
on the board. Pilots. I have added 1 episode. I have added Scorpion to the board. And then we have a couple of other 2-parters, Workforce and something else. I think Chain of Command that were there already. So we're going to do a 2-parter tonight, whatever we end up landing on. We won't always necessarily do that on these 2-episode nights, but I want to do that again because we still had a few of those on the board. So if anybody wants to add any 2-parters before we actually get to the wheel spin, I'm not going to spin the wheel right away. I'm going to give people a chance to put more stuff on there. You can leave a super chat and any dollar amount, and then list the episode you'd like, and also feel free to list a question or anything you might like us to talk about Star Trek related. With that is totally cool. So while we're playing Standard Replicator, I'm going to give people a chance to do that if they really want to. So we'll do a couple rounds of that real quick, and then we'll get right into our 2-parter for this evening. No big trivia game or anything. And then next time we meet, which will be in a couple weeks, we're not going to meet next week, but the week after, we will do a game again and a singular episode. So, hey, Brandon, guess what? I have something in my brain. I know you've never done this before.
Way! Oh my god, is it true?
It is. And
oh man.
It has something to do with Star Trek.
That's blowing my mind right now.
It really
amazing.
does. Okay, so we're going to go round robin. We're going to let these guys ask me yes or no questions. We will give you the audience. And by the way, welcome. Thanks for joining us live, guys. We're going to give you guys collectively a turn as well, so just pay attention to the questions, try to keep it relevant, and try to keep in mind everything that's been asked already. It could be anything that is in Star Trek, and at least in pre-New Trek stuff, in what we generally consider the original continuity. And we're going to begin with Adam this evening. Adam, throw me a question, sir.
Is it alive?
It is indeed alive, yeah.
Is it a species?
It is a species. Wow, that's a surprise.
Narrow that quickly.
Jason, is it dead? No, it is not a dead species. Adam.
An alive dead species.
That's true, because I also said, that's great. There's also that, but I was going to go to a
fossil.
There are some, of course, races that have been genocided in Star Trek, but this is not one of those. Let's go back to Adam. Go ahead, sir.
Is it
Really funny.
Is this a unique individual?
Look, it's a word now. It is not. No,
you said species.
we said it was
That's
a species.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
okay.
The whole live dead species individual.
We'll give you time to catch up, Adam. Go ahead.
Okay. Is this species in the Next Generation?
No, this is not a TNG species. Brandon.
Is it a Voyager species?
It is a Voyager species. Do you have a guess? Do you want to just do like a dark
a one shot Kazon?
Not the Kazon.
Not the Kazon.
Nope. Cinematographic. You got to listen to the questions that we've asked so far. It's not Starship. Let's go to Adam.
Does this species appear more than once?
Thank you.
Yes, does appear more than once. Recurring species.
Does this species take out the trash?
They do. They do take out the trash.
It's the Malon?
It's
the Malon.
You got that quick.
That was fast. Yep, that was what I was looking for. All right, well done, sir. Let's do at least one more. We may have time for even more than that. Okay, we'll do another easy one. In fact, the only clue I'll give you is this has got to be easier than that. Let's start with Brandon because he got that one, and I thought even in the shooting in the dark you might have gotten that.
Yeah,
go ahead,
well,
man.
I almost went with that or the hierarchy.
Oh, the hierarchy. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Sure.
Is
the hierarchy approves?
Yes.
Is this whatever it is in TNG?
This thing is in TNG. Yep. Adam. Jason, and I don't know if he asked this for the last thing or this one, but it's a relevant question, so I'll go ahead and ask it. Is it in any other series? Yes, it is. Adam.
Is this alive?
This thing is not alive. Brandon.
Is this thing technology?
I would have to put it in that category ultimately, I think, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Adam.
Is this Federation in origin?
Not necessarily, but can be. Brandon.
It can be. Oh.
Is this
more generic?
is this like a shared technology? Multiple cultures have their version of this. Okay.
Yeah.
That explains that, I guess.
And that explains these apes. Cinegraphic, is it on deck 16? I don't believe so, but I'm not Trek nerdy enough to know all the decks.
I don't know what's on the decks. I don't even know how many decks the Enterprise has. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure this thing is not on deck 16 though.
That's something I should know.
Is that is that like where the cargo bay is and stuff in the Enterprise D or E? Is that because I'm trying to remember that line when the Borg get on the ship and Picard's like the Borg won't stay on. Was it 16 or was it a different number? The Borg won't stay on. I think it was that, right?
Yeah,
the Borg won't
like
stay on deck 16. Maybe that's why he asked that.
Right. I think Or that's around it's got to be around the part in this engineering hall where it connects to the back of the where the engineering is and stuff.
Is that where they murdered Paul?
Paul? Who's Paul?
You remember you had the lady who was crawling through the corridors and she was like, Paul.
Oh yeah.
Paul, and then Paul's dead, and then the Borg get her, and then the whole time like it's just a horror film. They're just making Alien, and the whole time I'm thinking, this is not how the Borg attack. Like, why are they just picking off?
She was in the Jeffries.
She was in the Jeffries tubes. Yeah. What did I say?
Well, you said the corridor, and I was.
But yeah, you're right. It was in the Jeffries tubes.
The Jeffries tubes.
But then she peeked up into a corridor, I guess, is what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yes.
The Borg won't stay.
Whatever
on
those
deck
junctions
16.
are. Yeah, she popped.
Well, that was a tangent. Go ahead, Adam.
Back to the game.
So
you
we
guys just want to
decided
watch First Contact tonight?
Sorry. This falls under the category of technology. It is a general thing that everybody, or a lot of people, have their own version of and stuff. Okay. And you said it's a more than one series?
Yes.
We asked that?
Mm-hmm. Jason did.
Okay, Jason asked that. Okay. Is it a weapon?
Not a weapon.
Not a weapon.
Does it help keep people alive?
No.
Okay.
That's not. That would not be a central function. No. HB Haga, is it in TOS? Yes. Cinematographic, is it a universal translator? No. Adam.
Is it used to transport people?
No.
Is it used to hold things?
In a broad sense, I would have to say, yeah, like in a technical sense, I would have to say, yes, this is a thing that holds something.
Is it a tractor beam?
No, it's not a tractor beam. And that's not generally the way that you would describe what this does.
No,
but when I like what you just said. But I guess I would have to say it does count as a thing that holds something.
Okay, all right.
Jason, is it in the movies? Yes. Adam.
Is it like some kind of... Is it like a container of some sort?
No, I wouldn't refer to it as a container. No, Brandon.
Brandon's got us off track.
The best day.
This holds up.
The best day ever would be when I stump you guys with this. It'd just be the best.
Shoot.
Oh god.
Is it?
This is the singular, most generic, obvious thing I possibly could have asked. I will give you that clue. At this point in the game, Brandon.
Does it? Would you find it in the cargo bay?
No, not in the cargo bay. Adam.
Is it big enough to hold in one hand?
Nope. You cannot hold it in one hand.
Cannot hold it.
Forget the big enough part of that question, but you cannot hold it in one
small
hand.
enough.
Yeah. Is it seen on the Enterprise?
Yeah. Yep, Tom, it is not an EMH.
It's in TOS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Adam?
In TOS. Is it? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Is it clothing?
Nope, it's not clothing.
Okay.
Is it a belt?
Nope. That would be clothing.
I guess that is
That'd be
clothing.
clothing.
Well, that's stupid.
We'll do a couple more rounds, but it would just be the best day ever if I stumped you guys with this. You guys have just been on kind of a weird track with this. Adam.
Oh, goodness. Is it used primarily for like scientific endeavor?
No,
No.
Is it a part like is it attached to the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh.
I mean, technically, yeah, sure. It is a piece of the ship, yeah.
Is it a room on the ship?
No, it's not. It's not a room.
Okay.
Is it a system?
It's not a system. Nope. Nobody in the comments has got it yet either.
Is it the ship? A ship itself?
No. No.
Okay.
It's a broom closet. Is it? It's attached to the ship. It holds things. It's not a room. It's not its system.
Again, it exists to hold, I will say, a specific something.
Sure. Does Kirk interact with it?
Yes. Of course.
Is it the captain's chair?
There it is, and Tom got it at the same time you did. Yeah.
Oh.
Technically a thing that holds something.
Holds Kirk's
It
ass.
surely does. The technology
Wow.
thing kind of throws you off with the captain's chair because it's got built-in buttons and things that do things. So yeah, it is a piece of technology. But if it were the 21st century and you didn't plug anything into it, you wouldn't necessarily consider it a piece of technology. Like this chair, you wouldn't call a piece of technology. But if it had speakers built into it, you might.
It is a pretty high-tech chair, though. I will say that.
That's true. It is. I have a lovely gaming chair that my wife bought me recently. Let's see. What time is it? Let's do one more quick one. It's really funny. I was like the easiest possible thing, and then it took that long to get to. But well, I don't want to do that one because Brandon might not know it. Okay. All right. I got a thing. Well, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. I just don't want you to not have a
Hey,
good time.
I didn't say anything. I'm cool with it.
Oh, he's snickering at you.
That was
He's
my
snickering.
house.
Well, I mean,
my house rise
You
to
can
blast.
do it, and I might surprise you. You never know.
Okay, all right, we'll do it then. Why not? We'll do it then. Adam, why don't you lob the first volley, buddy?
All right. I'm gonna go with. Is it alive?
It is alive, yeah.
Is it Enterprise?
Is it
Is it-
Enterprise?
Enterprise. Is it an Enterprise?
Is it in
In.
the show called Enterprise? Yes. And you assumed that because I said you might not know that.
Right.
Okay, that
It
makes
was either
that makes a lot of
DS9 or
sense.
Enterprise.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Good job, everybody in the comments that got Captain's Chair. By the way, last call for two-parters to put on the wheel before we spin the wheel. So anybody that's watching right now that wants to add a two-parter to the wheel, feel free to do that. We've got 8 on the wheel right now, including Scorpion, which I just added today. I thought I would take the prerogative and put one more thing there so that we had a little bit more to spin. Okay, Adam, go ahead.
So it's in the show Enterprise and it's alive.
Yes. No
this
cinematographic.
a-
It's not Bajoran because it's
Is
an
this
Enterprise.
Enterprise? Is this a unique individual,
No,
like
it's
a
not.
specific person?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Did we narrow it as an individual?
No,
He just asked that
I
question.
just
he
did
said-
that. Yeah.
Oh, is it unique
It is
as an
not
individual? And it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Is it a species?
Mhm. It's another species.
another species.
I had those in my head today. Adam.
Is this a baddie?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
A baddie.
Now I find myself wondering if this species is Enterprise or DS9. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I wouldn't even know how to describe this. But it's just a name that's coming to me, so I'll ask a question first, though. But He asked if it was bad species. Does this species build things?
Yeah.
Is it the sphere builders?
Yeah. Nice work, buddy. That's great. I didn't know how well you
good.
do Enterprise. I didn't know if you'd come up with that.
Well, just barely enough, apparently.
They build things to make a bunch of people stay in one area. Anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and spin the wheel for this evening. Jason, we don't have all good things on the wheel right now, but you've put enough stuff on the wheel lately. I think I'm gonna not add that right now.
That would be the thing I'd.
Are we putting feature-length episodes that were shown as one thing up there? Or?
Yeah, 2-hour episodes. So a 2-parter or 2-hour episodes. Brandon, if you want that too, I guess I'll collectively let you, the two of you, put that on there.
Somebody should put Way of the Warrior up there.
I haven't put one up in a while.
That's good too.
I might
It
as well
has
do
been a
the
while. Oh, and
two-parters.
you know what? Adam hasn't either. I'll put both of those on there for you guys. Why not?
Mix up the bag.
Why not? Okay, guys, give me just a second to add those to my list and the wheel here, because I don't want to forget about them later. Man, I am not going to be prepared to talk about Way of the Warrior, though.
Yeah.
It's been a while. No.
It's happening.
Okay, I'm gonna check. Thanks for filling the dead air, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Something's got to go here.
Okay, so nothing is in the chat as far as episodes go, so we'll go ahead and spin right now. That is Adam.
All Adam.
Okay, well, I guess I'll put it over here then. And it's spinning. It just started spinning all by itself. There it goes.
Oh, it's
Where it stops,
possessed.
nobody knows. Workforce.
Workforce.
Nice.
A lot of people really like this episode.
Nice.
So that'd be fun. Somebody put that on the wheel, I think, last meeting or the meeting before. So yeah, we're gonna watch the TNG episode, the Voyager episode, Workforce. This is in
Like
season
TNG.
7 or 6? 7.
Yes. It's been a long time since I've seen this episode.
I haven't watched this in a while either. This is one of those things that, for me, if memory serves, I kind of liked the premise a little bit more than the execution.
Right.
And I wasn't totally sure that it warranted a 2-parter.
Right.
Right.
But we're going to watch them both regardless. Workforce is episodes 15 and 16 of season 7, so real late in the
Wow,
game there.
really?
I didn't remember it being that late. I thought it was a little bit earlier. So
Yeah.
'Cause that's really close to just the end of everything.
the end of everything. Yeah, and it all goes downhill from there. That's one of the last good episodes of that show. It has an abysmal last couple episodes before the finale. Okay, so what we're going to do is... let me get Adam off the screen here. He's in 2 places. So what we're going to do now is we're going to watch the first part of this, and then we'll take a break after that, since we just started not too long ago, if that's cool with you guys.
Sure.
So let's jump right into it. Pull up your Netflix, or however you want to watch the show. Hopefully I've given everybody enough time, but if you're not able to start it right when we do, I guess that is the nice thing about spinning the wheel right at the beginning of the show, but I wanted to give people a chance to put things on the wheel if they wanted to. If you need a timestamp, throw it in the comments, and I or somebody else will give you a timestamp if you can't start right away with us. Episode 15 of Season 7 of Voyager, and we're going to get right into it. Here we go. Everybody please press play. Make sure I got my subtitles up. Yes, indeed. Everybody please press play right now. Well, it's not the same matte painting we see every time, so
No.
that's nice.
Yeah. It's definitely and it has movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is 100% CGI.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't look great, but I appreciate
No.
the attempt. There's a lot
Right.
of... Enterprise has a lot of stuff that looks just like that.
Right. Yeah, this episode felt like kind of high concept. I remember when watching it, like there's like it was like it felt big, like with the special effects and stuff of this city and things. Though the CGI has not aged super well.
No, it hasn't. I think you're absolutely right, though. High concept is the way to describe that. It does feel like the kind of episode you would do in any sci-fi anthology.
Right.
It's one of those shows that feels like it's trying to mine something that's kind of weird that we don't deal with too much in Star Trek. So it's like,
Right.
you know, on some of these advanced planets, how does industry work and
Right.
and that kind of thing. So we don't do a lot of industrial episodes and
Right.
just people going to regular person jobs because we're usually
Right.
dealing with like the president or the world leader of a planet.
Right, or even episodes that do deal with it, like there would be like, even going back to TOS and stuff, they would imply a lot of it was implied like mining.
Have the Borg
was
been
most-
here? Have the Borg been here?
Probably.
A lot
They
of it
got
was
assimilated
implied like
into
it
the
was mostly
workforce.
like automated stuff going on, you know, like Delta Vega, in where no man has gone before. They're like, even the ore ships call here every 20 years. It's completely automated and stuff, or like the miners in Devil in the Dark. They're kind of like technicians almost and stuff, more than actually
He's
using
already said, that guy has already said the name of the episode.
using equipment.
That's a really good point, Adam, and this is one of those things that begs the question that we're asking all the time with Star Trek, especially by the time you're this late in the history, which is, why do you need that many people on a starship? I'm kind of wondering why you need this many people in this power plant.
Sure.
Or whatever this place is for. I'm assuming it looks like a power plant. I'm assuming that's what it does.
Well, what was it? The Prometheus ran with it was the Prometheus, right? The ship that broke apart. It ran with next to nobody.
Yeah. And we have whatever ship we were on do that frequently, and we just act like that's not a thing we can do, long term.
Maybe Starfleet is a colossal make-work project, or just giving people stuff to do.
That's what it seems like, right? But then we have a lot of episodes where we pretend like it can't function without the 450 people it needs, or the 700 people it needs, whatever ship we're talking about.
Well, don't forget, we've never needed a crew before.
Cinematographic, what is with this guy's nose? Well, the answer is he's got to look kind of alien.
He's an alien.
And we're at the 7th season
Voyager.
in a show that's, we're at the tail end of a 13-year run before we get to Enterprise. So I mean, we are out of money and we're out of prosthetic ideas.
Right.
Poor Michael Westmore.
Yeah, he was burned out at this point. I think.
Yeah, he had to have been. And also, I think even in Voyager, we've seen that face before. But now that maybe that's supposed to be a species we've seen before, because this is a plant with a lot of different species.
Right.
And Voyager does that when they get a lot of species together. They do callbacks and stuff. So
we watched this episode. I can't remember the name of it in Club not too long ago. But remember the alien bad guy that shifted back and forth from a guy to a woman?
Oh,
yeah.
He had lips like that.
Yeah.
He had that same. Maybe it's the same species. He had that face.
He kept jumping from James.
Was that the one where they was stealing identity and he steals Paris's identity and stuff?
And then he steals
that
Janeway's
one?
Yeah. And so the guy I'm talking about is not probably the original species, but I think it's I think he or she, because I don't think we ever even know what the gender ultimately is, but but I don't remember. But he or she, it's not a memorable episode. He or she stole the face of a guy that looked like that, so it might have been the same species.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about the size of ships and crews and things, I was reading about the Enterprise D and how big it is versus how many people it actually has on it. You could walk half of a day and never run into anybody.
Yeah, because it's enormous.
Because it's so huge.
but that makes sense because it's kind of a pleasure ship.
Yeah.
But it's
at the
funny
same time as it's the flagship that explores the galaxy, but mostly just goes to places
Hilton.
we've been before and checks in with people.
You compare it to the Constitution class from the original series, and those corridors are jam-packed with people, so much so that in the Trials and Tribulations they actually made a comment about how crowded it was and stuff. That's a weird haircut.
Yeah, and I was gonna say Janeway's hair looks a little odd, but hers does not work with bangs, man.
Oh, the bangs are odd.
No, and bangs over an ocular implant, even.
Yeah.
Be efficient.
Be efficient.
Should have given her earrings, though. That would have been a nice touch. And then you could have had a whole thing where 7 of 9 comes back in the ship, and she's like, I've got holes in my ears. What do I do with this? It's weird.
This was co-written by one of your favorite people.
I missed the writing credits. Who was it?
Kenneth Biller and Fuller.
Screw you, Kenneth Biller. He is running the show at this point. He's the showrunner for season 7, and it shows. And it's really sad because at this point, the studio does not really care what they do with the show. So he could have done anything he wanted to with the season. We're out of the woods at that point where the studio is really that concerned with how well it performs. Right. It's almost like a lame duck president. It's like, well, we're ending after the season. Like, who cares? And so if I believe if he had wanted to go more serialized that season and told one big epic story that got us to the finale, I believe he absolutely could have done that. And I've never forgiven him for not doing that. Unless there's something I don't know behind the scenes. Because, I mean, Bourbon and Braga are still there, and I think Braga is... Well, yeah, but see, the reason I'm remembering this now. The reason they passed it off to Biller is because they're developing Enterprise at this point.
Right, they are too busy.
So yeah. they're too busy, so they're not working on the day-to-day with Voyager. So it was on autopilot.
Right.
And you can tell with a lot of the episodes of the season.
It's interesting. I was thinking about the other day, just around this time, and it really felt kind of like Star Trek was kind of petering out, and it happened real fast. Like, after the disappointment of Insurrection and then Deep Space Nine went off the air, and then it was just Voyager right after that for a while. For 2 years. Yeah, and no movies, and it really felt like this was it.
And at the time, this show could not hold its own by itself, at least post-season 4. I mean, I think, you know, like in some other reality where DS9 gets canceled because it doesn't have enough numbers, but Voyager keeps going for some reason, season 4 probably still would have been the big deal it was because of Jerry Ryan. But after that, I mean, all bets are coming off. Cinematographic are these? Oh, Cinematographic has not seen this episode. A lot of silence for the comments. I think a lot of people aren't familiar with this one. Are these guys supposed to be in some kind of dreamscape? No, that is not what's going on.
No,
we'll find out, though.
No. He's Norvalet.
Okay, I'm gonna try to commit that to memory, but I will not remember that one.
Hey, but he needs to do his. He didn't do his line delivery like Joe Piscopo and Outrageous O'Connor.
I have no father. I love Tuvok in this episode, just because Tim Russ gets to get past his Vulcan stoicism and have a good time, which obviously is the thing we did with Spock all the time. But with Tuvok, we don't do it enough, and when we do, it tends to be like really torturous.
Right.
I mean, we do that with Spock as well, but with Tuvok especially, like if he gets to break out of the stoicism and show some emotion, it's usually crazed psychopathy.
I'm not a fan of these uniforms that they're wearing. They look like something out of 80s Doctor Who.
I agree with that. What Pierce is wearing is okay.
What he's wearing is okay, but what they're wearing, like the jumpsuits for the workforce.
It's plastic, yeah. This bar feels like a cross between like a Star Wars bar, like a cantina thing, and the bar on the space station in Trouble with Tribbles. Yeah. K7? Like I'm getting K7 flashbacks.
She kind of reminds me of that woman bartender. Reminds me of Marta from Undiscovered Country a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Yep. Maybe she's a shapeshifter. We don't know where her species came from. They might have been from the Delta Quadrant. You don't know.
I wonder where they filmed this. What is this place?
See, I was going to say something earlier. I believe they were at some sort of like plant to do some of this shooting.
Well, it's obviously on location somewhere.
They have to be somewhere. They build
I think it's an electrical plant.
Unfortunately, and I'm sure that information is somewhere, in Memory Alpha or something, but unfortunately, the Voyager Compendium sucks and has very little actual tangible information about the behind-the-scenes stuff.
That's
which
crazy.
Is what compendiums are supposed to be.
But the DS9 Compendium's really good.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Right.
But most of the Voyager one is just filler. It's a lot of synopsis and not much else. It sucks.
Right.
Did you hear that the Voyager documentary just got a lot of money donated to it?
No, I didn't.
So yeah, they're like a huge amount of money, and so they're going to be able to put a lot more into it. I don't know what it was going to be to begin with, but they're going to do more now.
They'll probably just copy the DS9 one and do that whole White Rosary thing again. And it would be really funny if they were like, okay, Ira Stephen Bear, would you come in and direct this? Because we don't really know how to make this movie, and we know that you didn't work on Voyager, but we want you to make it. And then just put somebody else as the front man. And the best thing ever would be if Beltran was the front man. If he was in the front of all of it, and he just complains the entire documentary about how he didn't get enough to do, and he hated his speaking role.
Right.
Oh man, this is Voyager for you.
He just keeps going off book. He's got all the scripted stuff. It's like, I was on this great show called Star Trek Voyager, but it actually was not that great. It actually kind of sucked. And it was on for 7 years, but I wish it had only been 3. It'd be great if we just kept
and I've gone on to have such success as an actor afterwards. I didn't need Voyager.
Poor Robert Beltran.
So all these species are susceptible to radiation, and I feel like, how could they have one generic thing that works for like all the species?
It's magic.
That's pretty advanced.
Magic.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you've got a species in there that doesn't even have fathers.
You got a species from...
They're all quite different.
The Alpha Quadrant.
That didn't even try. Did you see her nose thing? That was like nothing. That lady could have been human with a deformity.
Makeups.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. They might as well just draw a star on her forehead and be done with it.
Could have been a
So
now this is what I'm used to seeing for a scared Tuvok with emotions.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it even make sense that he should be upset at that thing coming at him like that?
I think
Vulcan?
I think Tuvok might get who knows? Well, I don't know if he's flashing back to a period when he remembered he was Tuvok, or if it's still when he's this guy. Because if he's still this guy, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have his Vulcan emotions or Vulcan control right now.
Right, exactly.
So yeah.
Do we get to see in this episode the ECH?
Is this the one with the ECH? Or
like he actually gets to do it? I think he actually gets.
I think you're right. I forgot all about that. I haven't watched much of 7 in a good long time. Because why? But I think Tuvok might get the most flashbacks of anybody in Star Trek.
I don't understand why they had enough money to build
with an episode called Flashback. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Why did they have enough money to build a back room for this Delta Flyer set, but yet they only showed the Runabout back room that one time on the show that Runabouts aren't even on, and then never ever showed it again.
I don't know.
So I guess I didn't know Chakotay was a vegetarian.
Yeah, he is. We get that real early.
Oh, is that it? That's just the back room. I thought I saw stairs.
Yeah, it's the Delta Flyer back room.
Yeah, that's weird that it's big enough.
Are you okay? But to be fair, are you sure it's not a redress of the set you're talking about?
No, that was a much bigger room and stuff. It had like windows.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah, the one. Ah!
Okay, that's creepy.
Meanwhile, in the space mist,
and you can tell there's a problem because it's tilted.
Right.
Uh-oh, look, he's red. I think he's red.
No, he's not red yet, is he?
I think he is. Looks red.
They're not going to take this opportunity to like show him do it again?
Yeah.
No, I guess he's done it enough this season already that we're just used to the ECH by now. Yeah, I forgot about that. That starts in Tinker Tenor Dr. Spy.
That's a good thing they did it. They should have done it a long time sooner.
I don't think he gets the pips on his uniform though, like he did in that fantasy.
In the what?
He doesn't get the captain's pips on his uniform. He gets to turn to red, but I don't think he gets to have a rank.
Right.
No, he does. They make a big deal out of it. Or maybe he doesn't.
That's in his fantasy.
Maybe that's just in his fantasy.
Yeah.
Remember when they pop up one at a time?
Yeah, they go...
Stephen Murphy, you joke, but those Enterprise documentaries and the Blu-rays get pretty candid about their time on the show. I think the Voyager people would be willing to reveal and complain. Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm saying I want Beltran to host it because I know he really would.
That was a really neat shot.
What I'm saying is he's complained more than anybody over the years.
Yeah.
And he was candid and out front way before anybody else was.
He was complaining while the show was on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be at least as warts and all as the DS9 one was.
Yeah. Looks like they got one, getting some more mileage out of these suits before they sold them off in the auction.
Yeah. So,
I don't know. I would have hung on to more stuff just in case Enterprise decided to jump ahead for some reason. Like, you never know what you're going to need. And then, lo and behold, we did that terrible finale, and we needed TNG stuff that we didn't have.
Anymore.
What's that?
Yeah.
They had to rebuild sets that they had already that they already got rid of.
Right.
I'm sorry, Brandon. What do you say?
Oh,
Tetrion.
How many times does Voyager get overtaken, all the crew members off the ship?
How many episodes are there? Divide it by 4, and you get your answer.
There's as many Harry Kims as there are times people get taken off the ship.
Right. Oh, see, we're gonna
Omega 3.
See, we flashed back, so now we do get to see it happen.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they're not gonna not take the opportunity to show it again.
Right.
Adam, did you like the ECH idea, or do you think it's kind of hokey, or do you think they should have done it earlier? Or...
I like it, but I mean, it's fun, but I don't really see the point. Like, what did it actually do for the Doctor that he couldn't already have in his abilities as an individual,
Well, we're told that it gives him command protocols, but I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
Well, he probably couldn't have overtaken the bridge had his programming corrupted.
Yeah, I don't know that it gives... So the question is, does it give him skills he didn't have already, and why wouldn't you want him to retain those skills?
Right,
like, does it take up so much memory that he can't have it all the time?
Right.
But what does make sense about it, potentially, is if it's just a transfer of command call.
Security.
I think
right,
that's what
exactly.
it is, a lot of it.
And that's part of it. But the rest of it is definitely, now he's got skills he didn't have, and I think that's stupid.
That doesn't make any sense.
That would go in and out. You just have that all the time.
Just have it.
Didn't fit on the backup.
You see, look, like now he's got command confidence that I guess he didn't have 5 minutes ago. Like, it's dumb.
Right.
You don't really want to screw around
with.
You don't want to screw around with the personality of a character that we're told is supposed to be a real person that we've seen evolve over all this time.
Exactly.
That actually looks really good.
Yeah, but I'm wondering how Voyager just took out this supposed war-looking shit.
It's because the Doctor is a command genius, Brandon.
Okay, yeah.
He's got the he's going to activate the photonic cannon.
The photonic cannon.
What was that, Adam?
Yeah.
He was just saying the same thing.
Saying the same thing.
I said the same thing.
Nice.
This is a format a structure that we use way too much in Voyager. Here's this crazy thing that's going on. Oh, man. And then, meanwhile, on Voyager. And then flashback to show you how all this mess began.
I mean...
I think 1 second. I'll be right back. My dog's outside.
Oh, okay, sure.
So wouldn't you be terrified?
It's kind of the same thing we do with the TNG episode Genesis. It's that format. I'm sorry.
Wouldn't you be terrified on any given necessarily away mission from the main ship that you're just not gonna find it again?
Yeah.
I would be. Like, I want to be in constant communication with that ship.
When you're in the Delta Quadrant, you've got no bases or anything?
Even in the middle of the Alpha Quadrant, honestly, or, just anywhere. Like,
look, Admiral, no base!
No base, Admiral. Up on a 3. You can tell it's a flashback because they put a filter on it.
Well, and to be fair, that's at least a consistent thing we do through Voyager. We always do at least creepy flashbacks like this. When it's when it's a memory, when it's a hazy memory, it's always like this.
Right.
And like I said, I think that starts in flashback, or we might have done it in some episodes before that. I don't remember.
I don't know.
But that is the way Voyager does it. I think DS9 has some of these too.
DS9 does.
But they always do it. So Voyager does it in white, and DS9 always does it in blue.
Yeah.
This is a thing I've never thought about articulating before, but I think that's kind of true. This is great. They're en route. This guy's having a flashback. Let's all just sit around instead of attacking him.
That's the thing from the episode where they kidnapped Geordi. I think that's the same prop that they put on the Romulans kidnapped him.
It is, yeah. They just hope you won't notice because she's lying down instead of it being at the top of a chair. That's a good point.
So he was Tuvok at that time. Apparently.
Yes.
He's going crazy. He's going to have his...
But they had already been messing with him.
You're not even doing anything there, Janeway. That was like nothing. You're just touching it.
Before.
Yeah.
Is it weird that they're using their original names? Because they have they have amnesia and a totally well, I mean, not amnesia, but they've had their past wiped out, and they're given new personalities. You'd think they'd have new names.
Right.
It was too much work to come up with.
He's Mr. Two-Spock.
Two-Spock. Tupac.
Yeah, that's Tupac.
Yeah.
And that's Amway.
Amway.
That's Katie Amway.
Katie Amway.
I can do this all day. We have a lot of alternate, silly alternate names for characters in Voyager because of like holodeck programs and things, like with the Photons Be Free program and Author.
And Captain Jenkins
and Lieutenant Marseille. I'm gonna watch that episode in Club.
Marseille.
We haven't done that yet, have we? Author.
That's actually, you said that was actually an episode after this episode that is actually a good episode. So it's there are a couple maybe.
That's true. I said it was the beginning of the end.
You qualify your statement though. Like you did say that there's not a lot of great ones.
Not a lot of them, but there might be.
There's a couple.
Yeah, but I think I also said it all goes downhill from there. And if author is right after
well,
this, that's not quite fair. Okay, so we're gonna find out that she's pregnant. And
well, we already saw her her a second ago when she walked in, and she had a big baby bump.
Yeah, let me amend this. I shouldn't say we're gonna find out. We obviously knew that already.
No,
she's been pregnant, but
pregnant for the whole season.
But she's all like weirded out and confused by it, and she's gonna tell Paris about it and doesn't realize that it's his child and everything. This is, I don't think, an intentional callback. This is way too close to the thing we did with her in the Herosian holodeck episode. And I think I talked about that at one point.
And that was a fake baby, wasn't it, in that episode?
Did we do that?
Which one?
I feel like we talked about that in Club.
We have not done the Killing Game. We haven't done
Killing Game? Okay, I feel like we talked about that recently. Maybe it was me and Sarah. I can't remember.
That's funny because that was a fake baby in that episode. That was part of the storyline of the French Resistance.
Yeah, so it's exactly the opposite of this, where she's got a fake baby and memories of it, and here she has a real baby and doesn't know where it came from.
Exactly.
I don't think that's on purpose. I don't think they remember they did that.
Oh, I'm sure they forgot.
Yeah. By this point, they probably couldn't even put 8472 in the correct order.
So this is the second two-part episode this season. I think they already do your one you hate?
I hate it. I hate it with a burning passion. I think that's before this?
I think it's before this.
Yeah, it's before this. What is it? Flesh and Blood.
Flesh and Blood.
Also,
I must admit,
don't we have an episode called Flesh and Blood, the same show where you have an episode called In the Flesh? I mean, seriously.
right? Yeah.
Secondary is that Impulse.
I guess.
I would assume so. Meanwhile, in the Astrometrics Bay.
Yeah.
This is still one of the coolest rooms on any starship, as far as I'm concerned.
It's
I
pretty
guess
cool.
it's not Astrometrics Bay. What do they call it?
Lab.
Lab. Yeah, Bay.
When I was a kid, for some reason, I always thought they were saying astrometric slab. I don't know why.
That's
So
where
there was
you
like a
go
big
map the
slab,
galaxy
the
and you
string
cut your meat. Everybody who works in astrometrics gets a free
Slab.
turkey
That was a.
from the slab.
Slab.
I feel like that was a kind of a callback to the old Doctor,
That's
the
great.
early Doctor with his jab there.
What do you mean?
He just gave Harry a pretty nasty barb for his demeanor.
What does that have to do with what doctor? What are we talking about?
The Doctor said something to Harry. It was
Yeah.
a snippy comment, and I just felt like it harkened back to the original Doctor and his bedside manner more than they had by this point.
I mean, I don't agree with that.
No?
He's got some McCoy baked in him from the very beginning.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Command center.
What is this,
Here's-
Power Rangers? Who are you, Zordon?
Well, okay. He was making a jerk about, or being a little bit of a jerk about being, I'm the ECH, Emergency Command Hologram. Shouldn't I be in the command center?
Oh,
So
that's
I was
right. He
like,
said
okay.
command center. But I think it's really funny. He's calling it the command
Yeah.
center. And then
There's
the
a
subtitles
code.
capitalized command center. And I'm like, what is that, Power Rangers?
Is that Meatloaf? Oh
So
yeah,
not
she's a
only-
bad cook. They didn't fix that when they
Right.
redid her memories.
Yeah, exactly. You know where they got that, Adam? From the slab.
So not only is there
What is that
like,
green?
a lot of people at this facility that should be running itself, there's also a work shortage they mentioned earlier in the
Yeah,
episode.
that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, so not only do they have a lot of people, they don't have enough people. Like, I mean,
This is one of those episodes that basically is trying to dress up what is essentially like what would look like our world right now with a slight sci-fi twist.
Right.
So we're not being very clever or creative about the technology itself. We're just going, we need a bunch of people standing around at monitors, pressing buttons. All these
Right.
things do something, and we need a person there instead of just the computer or robot for no reason.
Quara.
So the CG in this episode is extremely inconsistent.
No,
Some of it looks
good,
great,
but,
and some of it doesn't at all.
not. Right.
That shot with all the ships flying around the space station looked fine.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of jerks. Oh. You.
just described yourself there, buddy. I can't remember. Do they know they're all being mind wiped, or are the people in charge also mind wiped?
That's what I can't remember either. I was
don't
about to
know
ask
either.
that same question.
I think the people that have the really phoning it in makeup, they're the actual species that have been kidnapping everyone. So I think they're all in on it and stuff. But
okay.
anybody else,
So you think this guy is in on it or not in on
I
it?
think he's on it. Yeah, in on
Okay.
it.
Well, I couldn't tell. Like when they're saying that she's that right before Tuvok does his brilliant acting there with the gun at his neck. When he's saying that she has like dysmorphia, like about who she is, I can't tell if he really thinks she has a dysmorphia or he knows the truth. Like I couldn't tell with him either.
Well, the rule of thumb with Voyager is heads of state or whoever is in charge of a species that you just met when something remotely fishy seems to be going on always have a sinister ulterior
Okay.
motive, because
Right.
Voyager was supposed to be a like really scary place, and you can't trust or Voyager, the Delta Quadrant, and like you can't trust
Right.
anybody in the Delta Quadrant, and
That's what the Equinox would tell you. For sure.
but like that was part of sort of the pitch of the show or the series Bible is like this is a more treacherous part of space for some reason, and that would have led you to believe that there would be a whole lot more like super technologically advanced species or species that aren't that aren't humanoid.
Yeah.
And instead, we just basically said everybody's like a slimy used car salesman.
Right.
What's that thing on the ceiling? What's it for? Is it just a vent?
That's the
Big ass vent. I'm not sure what the boat. Oh, okay.
They allow smoking in that establishment.
Oh. You think it might be a dehumidifier?
Yeah. Are those like COVID barriers? Is that what those plastic things are there?
The what?
Yeah, they had a pandemic on this planet.
They had a pandemic on that planet. Probably they're bringing all these people in from all over the
work
place.
shortage.
That's why there's a work shortage.
Yeah. Don't you go to work.
Yeah,
skilled laborers,
and they'd be really inconsistent about it too, right? Where it'd be like somebody brings in a pathogen, but it doesn't affect everybody because they're all different aliens. But there is like that one thing that you can inoculate everybody with that Brandon was talking about.
I forgot until this moment that this is actually a two-parter because I'm like, how are we going to wrap up this episode? Then I'm like, wait a second, it doesn't wrap up.
No, because they're really decompressing it right now.
This is like
this episode is in the decompression chamber, Brandon.
This episode really takes a while to get going. Like until the second, this whole first part is kind of just exposition almost.
It's
and
all
stuff,
set
or like
up.
A mystery
kind of
set up.
Like, isn't this situation so unusual and alien and genius? And I'm kind of like it's weird that it kind of has a couple things in common with In the Flesh, where it's like we show up at some planet that looks like this isn't Earth, but it looks kind of recognizable, and then you're like, something really strange is going on. I wonder what it is. And it's sort of the reverse of that, where it's there's this place that looks like Starfleet, and we know it's not, and our characters are themselves. And then here, it's kind of backwards from that, where our characters don't know what's going on, and they've lost themselves. But I'm kind of imagining In the Flesh right now as a two-parter. Because I think there's about as much meat in the bone with both episodes. Maybe a little more just because they're doing little subplots here and there, but at the end of the day...
the budget for makeup went.
I mean, I guess. It looks like they just took scraps from a couple different masks and threw them together.
Yeah, that was the joke. There was no budget. So they'll take people, but they'll also let you hire on there. It looks like, so they'll give you the memories you need to work there, or you can just come in.
That's kind of weird.
Well, I
you think that somebody not in the know might sniff out what's going on and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, now wait a minute."
Yeah, but maybe they aren't that smart. Like the people with the ulterior motives.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This premise does not seem like a big enough deal to warrant 2 episodes on paper, and I wonder how it wound up that way. It's a lot like Gambit in that way.
Yeah. This weird little B stories with them.
I think Harry's got a chip on his shoulder because at this point,
that's
the Doctor
Neelix's
basically
ship
outranks
that they
him.
completely forget that they have for like 6 seasons or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Does he take it with him when he leaves?
Yes, when he leaves, he takes it with him.
It looks like something out of the original Battlestar Galactica.
They haven't used it since the shoot. They use it in the shoot to rescue Tom and
I didn't
Harry.
remember that. Interesting.
And that's the last time I'm pretty sure they use it until this
I don't know, missed
point.
opportunities, man. They should have had Tom Perez do a whole refit for it and make it look a lot cooler. And
Tuvok plays Stone Cold insane.
All the time. It's all they ever do with him.
I should have given her 8472. That would have been funny.
Whoa.
Game Station, thanks for the super chat, man, but I'm not going to talk about superhero stuff right now in the middle of Star Trek Club. All I'll say to answer your question is people's opinions change, man.
Tuvok's getting feisty. What are microkinetics?
They don't know either,
Small
so there's
kinetics.
no reason to ask the question.
Small kinetics.
Tiny kinetics.
I mean, as with a lot of things Technobabble in Voyager, they kind of scratch the surface on getting it right. Oh, there it is again.
Title.
Take a drink every time somebody says workforce.
He's got a fin on his nose. So the Doctor could have literally come up with anything for their faces to disguise them.
That's true. Really anything but human they could get away with.
Oh,
And
it's
of course,
a good thing
that's
you picked up on that.
Of course, that's a standard trope and staple of Star Trek. You know, if you had a dime for every time somebody had to genetically alter their face to look like another species. Right. But it's never just the face. It was kind of unusual to see that done like that, Adam, with just a dermal regenerator, because usually we act like we change the entire composition of a person's body.
Right. Yeah.
He went with Amal Kote for his name.
See, I wish everybody had a name like that.
Yeah, well, since they already knew him by Chakotay.
No, I know. I get that. I'm just saying it would be really fun if we did that with everybody. That was a very strange camera move. We got stuck behind a guy's back for like 3 seconds.
Yeah. Gosh, this bar looks like it's like the most late '90s, early 2000s looking thing I've seen in Star Trek.
Seriously, it's like they went on location.
I almost
in, like,
expect this
downtown Boston or something.
Right, I expect to see like Mike's, hard lemonade or something there. Zima.
You beat me by half a second. I was drinking something. Zima.
Excuse me.
He's turning into a space lizard. He went warp 10, and he was at every place at the same time. Now he's
gotta take his tongue out again.
I'm gonna have Jason come down here and bring me something to pick up Brandon's tongue off the floor.
Oh boy, that doesn't.
I wonder how the Doctor grew his tongue back.
That's a really good question. It was that was real magic. It seemed like. Yeah, it's hard. Like, I don't know what else you do exactly, Adam, but it's hard to make a relationship in this situation compelling, because we all know what has to happen at the end.
Right. Right.
No matter how you play that, we're never going to buy that there's a chance that she'll stay here instead of leave at the end or something.
Right. It's like, why are you doing this? We already know who these people are. It's like...
We're
oh, you mean Yeah.
No, I'm talking about with Janeway and this guy. Like,
Janeway and this guy. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Tom and B'Elanna.
well, that too.
that
Yeah,
too.
I mean, like it's an interesting situation potentially, but I just don't think they get enough actual mileage out of it. The problem is you're basically just watching a standard Amnesia show. So we're essentially, but it's almost worse than Amnesia because it's not about people who don't. I mean, B'Elanna has this a little bit, but it's not about a bunch of people who are trying to figure out who they are in the first place. They're different people right now. We're essentially watching a different show about new characters.
And this show, you know,
created out of our characters.
What is this? 6-8 episodes before the end?
Yeah.
You know, and we know this show wouldn't have kept this guy on to go back to the Alpha Quadrant or anything. So we knew where it was going.
It's not going to be of any kind of consequence at the end.
Right.
So I don't know what you do. Like, do you have them come out of their trances earlier?
I don't know.
Do you have, you know, these new characters that they become, put them in precarious enough situations that once they get their memories back, it's a lot harder to get out of it?
Yeah, this episode, I forgot this first part of this episode's pretty slow.
Like, are we really telling a story here so much as we're just going, here's a neat premise, let's kind of dork around in it for a while?
Right.
Ah!
Well, of course you are.
I like how Kim was basically just apologizing for doing his job.
Yeah. So they got they didn't get Chakotay up, but they got her.
Yeah, they got her and Neelix.
Okay.
Oh man, it's a drill. It's this flashy, spirally drill. We gotta be.
That's what they spent their money on too.
Oh, and this ends up being a little bit like Year of Hell, right? Where you have like your couple of characters that are still trapped in the.
We got the camera guy running.
No, I think they wind up letting. I think everybody gets their memories free. I think at the end maybe they like
everybody.
I think.
No, I don't think it is everybody. I think there's still. I think Janeway takes a lot longer.
That's possible.
Well, how are you gonna get out of this one, Chakotay?
To be continued.
That's a terrible cliffhanger.
I'm in a force field.
Good job, Kenneth Miller. All right, well, guys, we're gonna take a 10-minute break or so, and we're gonna come back and watch the second part.
Cool.
Or 5 or 10 minutes, however long people need.
Not 30.
Not 30. I didn't say 30.
No, I'm just saying not 30.
He's just
telling
gets to
people 30,
we'll cut it off somewhere before 30, yeah.
Right.
All right, so, folks, I'm going to put up the We'll Be Right Back screen, and we'll be right back. We'll see you in just a little bit. And we're back. It's time for the second part of Workforce, which is Season 7 Voyager, of course. So I hope you have it set up and you're ready to get going, because we're going to press play here in just a second. Adam, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get right into the second part. If anybody needs a timestamp, if we started too early for anybody, just let us know. Here we go. Everybody, please press play. What?
Workforce Part Deuce.
Yeah, sure. Right now.
Oh,
Last time on a show, it should have been a single episode. That's my biggest issue with this episode, is just that it's in two parts. It shouldn't be.
I mean, with how Voyager wraps things up on episodes like this, you'd think that it would have, done just that.
I mean, some of its two-parters are like this, where they're stretched too thin, but this is stretched thin like some of the TNG two-parters.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the two episodes that most have this problem are the two-parters in this season.
Yeah.
Because that god-awful Flesh and Blood episode is also like this.
So why couldn't Harry have transported all three of them at the same time?
Yeah, what, he couldn't get a lock on the other one?
On Chakotay?
Yeah.
Was he at Transwarp?
He was at Transwarp.
Brandon on foot? He was like Brandon, where he was everywhere at once and he was turning into a lizard. He tripped over his tongue.
We did this. We kind of did something similar with their memories in the episode with the Hirogen, right? In the World War II.
Well, I was talking about that earlier.
Yeah. Sorry, I got paying attention to the episode for a second there. I missed that
but you're
part.
right. Like just the basic premise of that is too close. Not just the B'Elanna thing.
And that had at least a lot more going on in it than this did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, like the premise is hokey with that episode and Killing Game.
Right.
But I can't say that it's not more warranted as an hour-and-a-half show than this is. And it has a better cliffhanger.
Right.
Where was he hiding?
And the A story and the B story, I mean, I can't say A story and B story, I guess the two locations that are all part of the same story is also kind of more fun and interesting in Voyager with the... And it's funny because it's Harry Kim stuff there too.
Right.
But when we go between the holodeck and what's happening on the ship, all the space stuff looks really good.
It's like they can't do atmospheres and buildings realistically. That's what they have a problem with, it looks like.
And to be fair, that is harder, right? Like the textures.
And that's the same problem they had on Enterprise also. I remember that infamous shot of the
shockwave
aftermath of the
with the Trianids.
This is literally the photonic cannon.
No, what they did after the Xindi attack.
Oh well, yeah. There's
Enterprise. That looked bad.
That looked bad, and actually, what I was thinking of is a similar shot because both of them are standing on a green screen with destruction in the background. But Chosen Realm with the Trianids.
Yeah, that looked bad.
It's got that too, where they go, let's go a step further with that. With that TOS episode, let that be your last battlefield.
Yes.
And let's actually go to the planet. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Or do they go to the planet in that too?
They show it's all stock footage
stock
of burned
footage?
out buildings. Yeah, like from
That
like
they're just
World
showing
War
on the
II.
screen, like panning over it.
It's like World War II Dresden or London Blitz or things like that. That's...
So they basically did the photonic cannon there. I don't know if you saw that, but
I heard you say that. What was
he said?
Photonic cannon about it?
He said he's like, in my tactical database, I like this particular battle, Cardassian commander. He made a photonic shockwave, and they did. I mean, that's exactly what a photonic cannon would be at that point, and then they did it. So I guess it does exist.
I mean, it's silly that they used the word photonic.
I mean, the light. I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know light to be
like that. Like that's always dumb. It's like the Doctor's involved, so we have to say photonic, but that doesn't make it the same thing the photonic cannon would be. Who knows what that is? It's a fake made-up weapon.
Right, but like this is a maneuver that could be that when you really get down.
Sure,
to
but
it.
you're just saying that because it was a clear screen move and it was called something photonic, but like it's a fake made-up weapon.
Yes. But that's what I would call that maneuver at that point.
I wouldn't call it anything. I don't know what it does.
Brandon, you didn't say how much you like this intro. Did you say it every single time?
The stupid thing is I was thinking it when I was watching it right before you said that.
That would be like if somebody in TOS... That'd be like if somebody in TOS did some like big clear screen move and you were like, see, that's what Corbomite must be.
Yeah.
That's what the Corbomite maneuver would be.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
There it is.
I mean, there's a little more to it than that. Just because if it involves photons, then it is photonic. And if a cannon produces shock waves, so that's where I'm getting that from. That's what
He's just putting random words together, dude.
I don't remember what photonic cannon did.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
It didn't. That's what I'm saying is now you've got a thing that could be that.
Well, no, but in his fantasy, it was a thing, and we did see what it did. I just don't remember what it was. In the fantasy, it did something.
Oh, it did, didn't it? Maybe it was that. I never remember that battle though.
Yeah, because who cares? It's fake.
No, the one he remembered to do the photonic shockwave just now.
Oh.
The Cardassian battle.
I don't.
But yeah, that's a word we just start throwing around constantly at the end of the show, and it's really stupid. And we keep contriving reasons to find, like, civilizations of holograms, of sentient holograms. Like, that would be a thing you just run into all the time. And then you like I don't bring this up very much, but that's one of the things I think is really funny about New Track. You get to Picard, and we had all this stuff at the end of Voyager about sentient holograms, and then they're obsessed with just robots, and there's no discussion whatsoever about the sentient hologram thing, even though there's a captain with a ship that has them. Nobody's afraid of those though.
Right.
Because that feels like it's set in the same universe.
All.
Well, he was.
Who? Who?
Meanwhile, in the crater.
Where did he go?
Is that?
Oh, they landed Voyager in a crater.
Let's see, there's better not be a giant worm in there.
Not Lieutenant Tori.
Lieutenant Tori. Yeah, it is really funny if that's the very next episode. We keep referencing that. Okay, so that's actually built into the story. That they're just selectively changing certain memory engrams, so they're not trying to full-on create new people out of them so much as just change enough that they won't want to go back to where they came from, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
That is some insane memory altering at that level, though. Honestly, if you're gonna be able to do that, like we're gonna change everything that makes you know you came from this starship.
But Brandon, we are hitting all of the greatest hits with Voyager because Voyager has so many episodes.
Yeah.
With memory wiping and selective memory changing
and pulling people off the ship and
You know, earlier I can't remember what the example was. Earlier you were like, how many times in Voyager does this thing happen? Was it the multiple Harry Kim thing or whatever?
Yeah. Kim has been cloned.
Yeah, but what was the thing you were talking about?
Just how many times they've been pulled off the ship and the ship
then
overpowered, desert the ship.
Yeah,
or
somebody takes over the ship. Like counterpoint or whatever.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking of, honestly.
Right.
I would argue that for most episodes of Voyager, you can find a companion in Voyager that is essentially the same episode. At least one. I think Voyager episodes come in pairs. And when they don't, it's because they're paired with an episode from a different show that they ripped off.
Yeah. Okay. Point taken.
That strap thing that they had on Tuvok there,
Yeah.
you can see like the Velcro. It's just Velcro in. So if all he had to do is go like this, and it just goes.
So I want to know what they pulled together to make this set. Like, what is that head thing? What prop did they pull from?
We were
Bunch of
just talking
random
about that
stuff.
earlier. It's from a TNG episode.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's from the Mind's Eye. It's that thing that was over Joey's head in that episode.
Uh oh, she had a Borg flashback.
That's what he was talking about when he said, like, right before they sold things at auction.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, what they?
Or were you talking
take
about
that
something
for?
else with that?
I was talking about the spacesuits, the first contact
spacesuits, right.
suits. Yeah.
I bet they sold that too, though. I bet somebody has that in their basement.
Well, I mean, I don't remember them wearing them in Nemesis at all, do they? No, so they probably
They probably had already sold them by that point. Well,
yeah.
although you say that, were there a couple of auctions? Because I
The
know they
auctions
didn't-
went on way until like the mid 2000s and stuff.
Because
So
the big one I remember was post Nemesis, because they still had the Resican flute at that point, because it was in a
Right.
deleted scene that was supposed to be in the movie, and it's stupid that it wasn't.
Right.
And then that was one of the things that they sold in a big
Right.
auction that I followed
was-
but didn't bid in.
that was the one that got it. That was a huge bid on it. Yeah. On that prop.
Well, I say that, was that a live auction, or could people like call in or bid over the
I
internet?
don't
can't
know.
remember now.
I
I
can't
thought I
remember.
remembered that you could bid even if you weren't there, but I'm not.
Some stuff was, I think, and other stuff was like, yeah, a live auction, like a Christie's type situation or something. You know.
Yeah. Okay, that's weird.
So how does she have all this stuff?
Yeah,
Why is all
that's-
this crap? Why did they
that's
give her
weird.
all of this for a backstory?
So you've been, yeah. They must have just like given her all this stuff if she's supposed to
I
be a
guess.
collector.
But that's
They sent her to
nothing.
the
What is that?
commissary.
It looks like junk.
She's not a collector.
looks
She's
like
a hoarder.
Yeah, it's
She
like
just
a
goes to yard
burnt-
sales every week and buys everything and takes it
It
home.
looks like a spit fuel injector. Or something.
So they moved kind of quickly to move in together.
Yeah.
Yes, well,
How long
they
has
have
this
to
been
make
going
them really
on for?
serious now to try to drum up drama as if we really buy that they'll stay together. I wish they'd done more with Paris and Torres,
Right.
because, I mean, I'm not saying that that's, like, all that much more super compelling, but you'd at least have kind of an amusing notion
Oh.
where they could have gone all the way to get married, and then you get to the end of the
Right.
episode and it's, oh, well, we're married, we got married twice!
Yeah.
They could have done that. I guess. I don't have a lot of great ideas about how you drastically improve this episode, Adam.
Yeah.
It's not a premise with legs.
No.
Like, I would have to rewrite it from the ground up.
I mean, they give Beltran
Matthew,
a lot
we're
to
around
do in
13
this
minutes, man.
Yeah. They gave Beltran a lot to do in this episode, so you shouldn't have too much bad stuff to say about this particular one.
Well, I guess, but it's never character work with him.
It's never character
He's
stuff.
always facilitating plot.
Right.
I mean, if Beltran looked at any given character in DS9, he'd have to be frustrated.
Yes. But then
You
again,
know-
I guess you could probably say that about most people on Voyager.
Well, no, of course. But a
But
lot of
Beltran
them, but a lot of them
specifically,
were fine, just working and getting a paycheck, or at least they were
Right. Right.
they were smarter to try to bring as much to the role as they could with what little they had to work with. And Beltran
Right.
kind of got to a place where he just phoned it in, and it was a chicken and the egg thing where it's like, okay, are they not giving him things to do because he doesn't care, or does he not care because they're not giving him things to
Not
do?
giving things to-
And
right, exactly.
there's definitely a bit of both, but when you look at characters like the Doctor, who admittedly was already a lot more fun and people cared about writing at the beginning of the
Right.
show, but a lot of the reason that he was so in the forefront and evolved over the show and had so much interesting characterization was because of Picard. It was because of the actors, because people wanted to write to him. Nobody wanted to write to Beltran.
I know.
So
even
I
at the
mean,
beginning
I feel
of the
bad
show,
for him. I see both sides to this.
Right. Even at the beginning of the show, he was giving a kind of a wooden performance.
Yeah.
You know? Oh yeah, I forgot that he had a TV.
That's because he watches cartoons.
They just said it.
So I like how he has a toaster just sitting on the table where it couldn't possibly, like, honestly, he's not going to plug it in, but like.
And that's his batleth for when they have Bring Your Own Batleth Day.
Yeah.
And he's then, wait, what about the toaster?
There's just a toaster sitting on a table where you wouldn't have a toaster regularly. Like, some of his other stuff's in the right location.
Those are a bunch of micro machines on a mobile.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's funny. Yeah, he has a toaster because he eats peanut butter toast for breakfast. Just like my stepdad.
Not Pop-Tarts?
No, because that's copyrighted, and they would have to say, like, toaster pastries
they gotta say
or
toaster
something.
strudel. Look at the rights to that.
Yeah, they would have to pay Kellogg's, and who wants to pay Kellogg's? But if you're having somebody that's obsessed with 20th century, you'd think you'd have a product placement or two. Like, I'm not saying that I want a whole bunch of product placement in the thing, but it authenticates it because our lives are inundated with products, right? This was a thing that the Babylon 5 understood.
Right. They wouldn't have been able to get Oreos, but maybe Hydrox, right, Brandon?
Yes.
Yeah, Hydrox.
Right.
Badly replicated.
Poorly replicated Oreos, exactly.
Yeah.
The replicator was on the fritz that day.
Yes.
Brian was out sick.
I wonder what this is a redress of.
It looks.
It doesn't look very good, though.
No, it doesn't.
The panel that she's in front of.
Definitely a redress. It's probably something Cardassian.
A lot of stuff in Voyager look very generic.
Oh, it's a Boolean.
Who's the center square? It's Hollywood Square.
Those all look at those photos. They're terrible. They're like
mug shots.
I mean, they're like the DMV photos.
Who is the girl in the middle?
I don't know. They just
Anderson
they just grabbed people at the studio here.
And that guy on the right was like not Teal'c.
It all sounds so fantastic.
Oh, this was a thought I remember having the last time I watched this episode, and it's been a long time, so I'm glad this just came to me. I always thought that the big misstep with this premise, I wish I'd said this earlier, I forgot about this. Tell me what you guys think of this. Mm-hmm. I always thought the big misstep with this premise is that you don't make it kind of Who Watches the Watchers with our crew. So they're sucked up to be in this workforce. Mm-hmm. Name of the episode. They're put on this planet. They have to work for these people, and their memories are altered to where, for whatever reason, they don't even remember that there is warp drive and spaceships and the galaxies out there. That they think
that would have
been
interesting.
That hasn't achieved that yet, and then our characters, because we can't immediately give them their memories back before they come back to the ship, have to be initiated and appreciate that they live in a larger universe. Like, that's immediately more interesting.
That would be interesting. The only problem with it would be, how do you have like multiple alien species as part of this?
Well, you'd have to rewrite it. You could, yeah. Well, you could just genetically alter them all to look like the same species.
They'll look the same. That's true. You could do that.
Because if you can selectively change their memories, then why couldn't you just give them a memory dump where everybody thinks they're a totally different person, and you just have somebody in charge of that where they're just making up, and that would be interesting too. Like, what if we met that guy? What if it was a guy that created the personas, and he could be like, like a fun, eccentric, kitschy kind of character where like his job is to make up all these cool personas, and he's basically writing like his own novel, but making it like, I don't know, this writes itself. It could be a lot more interesting, yeah.
Right.
And again, I always hesitate to do that. I don't want to be like, your episode sucks, so let me just start over from scratch. But there's not a lot to work with here, especially as a two-parter. I like the lighting in this scene.
Yeah, and that background with the windows in the city look pretty good. I noticed.
It reminds me of Archer's apartment in the cliffhanger in Shockwave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Busted Simmons, sorry about that, because you asked about Trek Club yesterday, and we didn't think we were having it, and then we ended up having it, so we will not be going next week.
Right. I'm more than that.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's weird.
We're more than that. We're from Earth. You know, this year.
You know what?
Yeah, Busted Simmons, it is. So this is interesting, real quick. So Busted Simmons just listening to us talk. He's not watching the episode because he just came in, and he said this is either Killing Game or Workforce. Based on what we're saying, that's really funny. Right. Busted Simmons, if you want to watch with us, we're on the second part of Workforce. We've only got like 20 minutes left. We're timestamp somewhere around 2020, 2030.
2020. Oh.
So I swear to God, when she walked in, she's like, "I'm just going into the other room to get."
All of a sudden.
Oh no! Wait, did I imagine this? Did she go to a completely different apartment? Because I thought she was just going in the other room and it was like empty.
She did. She went to another apartment.
Because I was going to say
these pictures are insane.
Yeah.
Did you see the Neelix picture?
Yeah, they're really bad.
His facial expression was like this.
Why didn't they come and check up on her? Like. That guy, if she was just in another room, why was he there the whole
time? I don't know.
It was a completely different apartment.
Okay, maybe
well, that is an ominous looking instrument. Did we just strap him down with duct tape?
Yeah, that's the Velcro again.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's just move your hand around.
This guy is one of the people who has been inundated like everybody else. He thinks he's doing his job right, and he uncovers this conspiracy, right? And then he realizes he's part of the conspiracy.
I think every single one of these people is part of it. Look at they're all the same. But maybe not.
No, Brandon's right. This guy doesn't know what's going on.
Oh, he doesn't know that this is going on. He is him, but he doesn't know that people are doing this.
Yes,
that's right. Okay.
Yes.
All these guys that looks.
But no, he's not mind wiped. He's just not in the know.
He's just not in the know. So he's not one of these ominous looking people.
So there's some people that know and some people that don't.
Yeah. This redhead lady.
That makes
sense.
She knows.
She knows.
I would think that you would have to keep it classified.
Yeah. Stop showing off.
Oh, she hasn't got her memory back. She said Neelix's food smelled good.
See, we can't even remember stuff we did like 2 or 3 years ago. She's about the banana pancakes, and if Neelix wasn't an idiot, in order to help bring her memory back, he would give her the food that her mother prepared that she most appreciated. But no, just generic pancakes. Now, that might sound like a nitpick to people that have not seen that episode, but it was a big deal in that episode because it was like one of the big things. Well, I was gonna say it was the thing that got her out of a depression. It was actually the thing that made it clear that she had gotten out of a depression.
Right.
But I don't know. It was a personal detail that mattered for an episode.
Right.
Busted Sim, what's really nice is that I threw this up on the wheel myself. Sorry, Busted Sim. I remember liking this, but I don't know why. Maybe because it was fresh for Voyager, despite resembling Killing Game.
Oh, look, you see the crater at the window.
Yeah, that's cool. No, that's cool though.
No, that's in detail.
I always liked the premise of this in theory, but like I'm a broken record, but Busted Tim hasn't heard me say this yet. But like it doesn't warrant 2 episodes,
right?
And it's kind of boring watching different characters played by your main cast a whole episode when you know what's going to happen at the end.
I hate this V story. They like made the Doctor just go completely power crazy, and now he doesn't even want to be a doctor anymore.
No, you're missing the subtext. Okay, so it makes perfect sense because Janeway must have had a hand in programming him, so now he's just acting like Power Tree's Janeway.
But how often do we also do this thing where we yank the Doctor around and say, we'll put you back the way you were, you'll be fine, you won't even, that's why he writes photons be free in the first place, right?
The problem is, though, that's the kind of crap we were doing 2 or 3 years ago. By the middle of 7, we're treating him just like another member of the crew, except for when we decide we're not going to do that. They're really inconsistent about it. I still say the problem is the ECH thing, and that he shouldn't have knowledge that comes in and out based on giving a command that turns his uniform red. The only thing that should, like, if you want him to have that those abilities, you just program him with him, let him have it all the time, and then in the sense of where he is in the hierarchy of the crew, he's just got to know his place, and he doesn't use them until he's until he's put in that position, right?
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
Do you think there's like baby Borg in those drawers? I think there very well might be, given the tops of alcoves that were everywhere in that plan. Bless the Sim, Dragon's Teeth is one that should have been a 2-parter, but wasn't. Well, this one maybe should have been singular. Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't seen Dragon's Teeth in a long time, so I would need to watch that again to reevaluate the pacing. But I agree that we didn't talk about that. That Voyager does probably have some episodes that could have been elongated and would have been better for it. But TNG has the same problem, and probably more so.
Yeah.
Because TNG has more 2-parters that I don't think make sense to be 2-parters.
That's also suspicious.
Well, I think we should solve this problem by something ocular implant.
Yeah. Because I'm a coward.
You made it sound like he was starting a rap, though. I'm a coward. I got no power. My life is dour.
I've seen this guy before somewhere, and I've seen the guy that was
Tom
in
Paris.
that.
This guy.
No, this actor, and I've seen the guy that's in. That was like in the room where he was strapped down on the table. That bald-looking guy.
Busted him when I hadn't put Dragon's Teeth on the board. Thanks, buddy.
And this guy, he looks
familiar. Times I've seen that. What is that? Beginning of or toward the beginning of season 5?
It's like 5 or I think it's 6. Is it 5 or 6?
It's 5 or 6. It's later.
I think it's 6.
You've come to the right place, my boy.
Just got a flattened bridge on his nose. That's his defining.
That's his defining characteristic.
Right.
And they got a little thing here.
Yeah.
So I'm convinced that the employees have numbers just so that 7 can act like a board.
There's a photo.
Well, she is the efficiency monitor.
Exactly.
We got.
I mean, maybe if she numbered them all, sure, but
the problem is, it looks like they took it with like the world's most powerful flash. All those photos.
Yeah.
They just lined someone up behind the studio one day. They're just like, all right, we need these for the episode. Just come here, one after another.
Dysphoria syndrome.
These were just chairs they had laying around the studio.
Yeah, those metal chairs from the 2000s.
I like how they can just read the alien language too, like work it.
Well, that's always the thing in Star Trek.
That's always a thing, but.
That's actually less weird here because they can alter their memories.
Mm.
Where it gets crazy is when we do something like Enterprise, where we'll pick up a ship, like we'll commandeer an alien ship. It's like, you got 5 hours to learn how to fly this.
Right.
Like we did with the Suleiman ship in first season.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't read any of these screens, but I'm sure we'll figure it out somehow. And that was weird because the way it operated was so different. Because that one had like weird like levers.
It was like a weird ball thing. Yeah, with the leather. Yeah, lever.
Yeah, didn't it have levers?
I think it did. Archer flying that thing around.
Yeah, did Archer learn it? Well, I think it was
Archer.
I think it was like Reed learned it really fast and then taught Archer how to use it.
Yes.
If memory serves, it's been a long time.
Archer
was that also? No, that wasn't Shockwave. Where was that? I don't know where that was.
It's the one where he talks to Future Guy head on, I think. But I don't remember what it is.
Well, I mean, that also happens in Shockwave.
That's true, too.
That's that two-parter. Divid 22, if a founder is assimilated, is that ultimate Borg? I wouldn't think the Borg could assimilate a founder.
I don't think they'd be able to assimilate a founder. I don't think their little robots would have been able to.
I'm not sure how that would work.
Probes infiltrating the Great Link.
But David, thanks for the super chat. Feel free to put an episode of the Borg if you want, on the Borg if you want to. And Gain Station 3, if you're still with us, you are entitled to an episode on the board as well because you gave a super chat earlier.
I wonder what would have happened if the Dominion met the Borg and stuff. That would have been.
And a lot of people
crazy.
wanted that. It's kind of an obvious big epic thing, but I don't know how interesting the stories would have been so much as just.
No, I don't know.
Big wham pow space battles.
Yeah. More
so
robots.
Here finally is our social commentary 15 minutes before the end of the episode.
Right.
And it's very much like the Malon thing, right? Where it's like, what else are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And even if somebody presented us with a better way, we've already got, an infrastructure, so we don't want to change it.
I want.
Oh, dun dun dun! I just relieved him of duty.
He's gonna throw you through a window.
Yeah, and with what Divid 22 was talking about a minute ago, with the whole assimilating founder thing, I just had this thought: if you can't assimilate 8472,
right?
And I mean, to be fair, we don't know exactly why that was, but it seemed like it was because they were too alienated from a different kind of space.
Right.
I mean, asking that is like asking, could the Borg assimilate like the Organians or something?
Right.
Like energy beings. How would you do
the
that?
Calamarain.
The Calamarain, yeah.
But not the Alamarine.
I almost asked Calamarain today.
What about the Cytherians?
Instead of Replicator.
Did you do the Cytherians? Probably.
Yeah, possibly. Well, they're also kind of energy beings as far as we understand.
Right.
Like,
Well, even the Q are afraid of the Borg, though.
I don't
They're
think
not
they're
really
afraid of the Borg.
Well, don't provoke the Borg. I guess
That's
doesn't
the
make them
stupid line
afraid.
for that episode. Yeah.
That's him knowing that humans would be afraid of them, Brandon.
Right.
Because it makes a giant headache for him if they have to like clean up a mess or something.
Right.
Translating frequency on a covariant subspace band. Remember that.
Plus, by the time we get that line, "Don't provoke the Borg," we're in real careless writing territory with the Q.
Yes, this is like near the
true.
end. That was near the end. I don't know if that happened before this episode or after, but
was that Q2 or was
Q2.
that before that?
it's Q2. He was
Is
telling
that him talking to his kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon, you don't ever want to use an example from Q2 to support a point.
True. That is very true.
I apologize, but I don't think that's the best episode to go to.
Well, it is me here, so.
Uh-oh.
Well, now you've done it.
That would be like going to Emperor's New Cloak for anything about the Mirror Universe. Like, kind of just forget about that one.
Yeah, be careful. Because we only got 10 minutes left.
Oh, and now Voyager's back.
Excuse me.
See, this just isn't interesting.
You can't even do it.
We're 8 minutes from the end of the episode. We're gonna give her some kind of inoculation or something, and then she's gonna go, I remember everything about who I am.
Yeah.
5-minute wrap-up time, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
You guys want to just rate now? I mean, there's not anything else that we need to see in this episode, really. Like,
Yeah.
I'm cool just shutting it down if you guys are. No, I'm kidding.
They didn't expect this, didn't they? Like come in with, oh, it went to blue alert. Blue alert.
Also, Brandon, you could have asked the same question with this example. How many Voyager episodes end essentially the same way? And I would say divide by 4. I might say divide by 3.
So can we write a Voyager episode based on formula alone?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
Let's do that sometime. See what we come up with something.
It's a
better
lot
than
like
this.
Smallville in that way. I mean, to be fair, it's got 3 or 4 formulas, but yeah, we can break that down real easy.
Well, divide by 4. You know.
Well,
One of the 4
David,
episodes
we're watching
of Voyager.
Workforce, but you're a little late, buddy, because we're like 8 minutes away from the end.
That's all you need to see.
But it's him. Maybe I just like this one because it had the characters getting to do something other than their usual shticks. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's part of the reason that the actors always talked so fondly about this one.
That was a huge jump she just made. You know, like.
That's when, to Brandon's point earlier, that your episodes are kind of too redundant and formulaic, when the actors are going, I just want to do anything but the show we're making.
Yes, there it is, the classic dark mode on Voyager whenever it's a red alert. I don't know
I still
why.
can't believe they used the top of Borg alcoves. That's basically just putting up a big neon sign that says the show is almost over and we have no money.
Right.
In fact, do we see the Borg alcoves after this? Maybe they just dismantled them and reused them.
Yeah, but it looks like a piece that would be really easy to take off the top.
Well, that's true.
Because they probably just went out and bought those.
There's some, yeah.
I'm sure they didn't make those.
No, there's the Spencer's Gifts thing.
Yeah. We've always said that.
Yeah.
But the reason they've got 6 is because they had 6. Like, that's probably how, like, they're probably using as many of those as they have those props for him.
Dysphoria syndrome. Why is Neelix doing the tactical?
Well, I mean, that's the last. They need him.
I guess so.
So Kim has been left in charge lots of times, like regularly, and somehow thinks that the Doctor has like more information in his command database than he should, like running the bridge. Just, I'm not saying that command is easy, but it's not really a matter of like information so much as experience, right?
Right. Did he put like bombs in there or something?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what they did.
They just destroyed 4 Voyager's away pods.
That might have been the photonic cannon.
Those consoles look like they're playing a board game.
Yeah. Oh. Uh-oh. They destroyed the society.
Yeah,
they destroyed the society.
Inside the building.
Yeah, of course, because the last thing that goes offline is lights indoors, and gravity and air.
Yeah.
And we never lose gravity, even if we say... I know now I'm talking about on a starship, but we never lose gravity even when we say that we've lost life support.
Right.
What? No, that's dumb. The doctor would not have an ECH log. Now he's just being all full of himself, and it's stupid.
He's even hosting a meeting.
No, he should say acting captain. Like he should be making the captain's log.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
ECH log.
Yeah.
You've earned it, Doc.
See, now they got like a nondescript cartoon.
Yeah, this is some generic thing. This is like on Pee-wee's Playhouse when King Cartoon would come in and it would be like the most generic thing, 2 seconds of the most generic thing ever.
Now, to be fair, I compared this to Babylon 5 earlier. To be fair, that the parent company there was Warner Brothers, so
Warner
there's
Brothers,
a
so
whole
they got
library of cool stuff they can use, and
Right.
this is Paramount, so they're kind of stuck. There's not a lot they can really go to.
Yeah, but I don't think. Yeah, Paramount didn't have a running cartoon. I don't think.
No, and it's sticky because I mean Paramount is connected to and owns a lot of different things now, but like back then this was syndicated. So even if I don't know if Paramount owned Nickelodeon back then, but even if they did, I don't.
They
think
did.
I don't know that they could use Nickelodeon stuff because they weren't on Nickelodeon's network and they were syndicated. I don't even know.
Yeah.
So
Viacom owned Nickelodeon, so it was all under that umbrella, and they owned Paramount.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know how that would have worked.
I'm not sure if they could have. Whereas Babylon 5 wasn't syndicated. I don't know what network that was on.
No, it was syndicated.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, well, it was okay. So it was on a thing called.
Never mind. Take a drink. We said workforce.
Babylon 5 was on a thing called.
No, I said it because what she said to him, she's like, "I could offer you a position on the ship. Yeah, be part of my workforce now."
Busted Sim. Starfleet Review Board when Voyager returns. What the heck is an ECH, and why does it have a random log entry?
Yeah. What is that?
So he came here for a better life, meaning he's already deserting his, his previous life. I feel like he could have, if he'd had an adventurous spirit, gone with them, yeah.
But we
like
do that all the time where there's like no excuse not to take characters with you except that you have to reset status quo at the end. Except again, this season we didn't have to do that. But I don't care because who cares about that guy?
We'll always have work.
They did a she bought a bag full of trash. Did you see that?
No.
It was her crap from her quarters, from her fake memories.
And now we're gonna treat this experience like it was way more weighty, and like it'd be more remembered than it will be.
She comes in looking all austere, like just Janeway stare.
And I know we've only got like 9 episodes left, but we're never gonna mention this again. That away.
Weird.
A little.
I don't know. It's not compelling. It's not that interesting.
That away.
I mean, she could have been like, we moved a little too fast. Like, I want to be back on my ship.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, Berman and Biller were I didn't realize that he was actually gets the in credit producer thing at.
Wow. That's what I'm saying. He was show running at that point.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that until I read the 50-year mission, but there's a couple pages about it in that blog. So there we go. There's Workforce.
There's Workforce.
So let's go ahead and rate as we always do on the 0 to 4 scale. 0 is why am I wasting my time with Star Trek Club, and 4 is let's do Star Trek Club again tomorrow. So let's begin this time with Brandon. Brandon, how do you rate Workforce? And as we always do in this club, if you've not been with us before, we're not going to rate the separate episodes, even though you absolutely could do that because they aired separately and one might be better than the other. But we're going to air it as a collective piece. So, Workforce Part 1 and 2, What is your rating, Brandon?
I'm actually not sure that any one of these episodes is necessarily better than the other one. They're kind of on par with each other.
I think I agree with that. I mean, we don't.
there's
I'm
a
with
little
Adam.
more going on in the second. But
I'm with Adam. We don't get enough done in that first episode,
Yeah.
but I'm as bored in the climax as I am
Second
anywhere
episode,
else.
too.
So it's a 2.75.
Okay. All right. What do you say, Adam? What say you, Adam?
2.
And guys,
Yeah.
rate in the comments for us. We'll read them in the show.
It's a 2. Throwing
Straight
it
up
out there. Yeah.
I think
For both of them.
I think that's where I'm at. I think I'm.
Yeah.
It's in the middle for a Voyager episode.
It's not even bad, memorable bad. It's just
It's not bad.
It's just there.
It's just mediocre.
mediocre. Yeah.
It's got a see. I don't even want to say a cool premise so much as a setup, right? Because the premise doesn't have any built-in drama in it, and that's my problem with it. But like the setup of like where they are is kind of it's kind of cool. Maybe has some potential. But I've been struggling this whole time to tell you how you really improve the story they're telling.
Right.
I think you've had some pretty good workshopped ideas there.
Well, thanks, man. But like I said, like all of my best ideas were reset from the ground up. Like I don't know how to improve the story they're telling. Divid 22. Oh wait, he did not rate. He was talking about something else. Stephen Murphy 1.5. Matthew Base 2.5. Divid 22 says 4, but I don't know if he actually watched this with us. Busted Sim 2.5 because it came late, didn't watch, and wonder why I like it despite not seeing it for a while. HB Haga 2. Well, this actually didn't introduce the ECH. We had that earlier. Is this the first time that he actually is in command as the ECH, though?
I think so.
Maybe that is what happens there. Okay. Geekvolution, or sorry, that's us. Jason, X-Force 2. X-Force? He called it X-Force.
X-Force.
He gave it a 2. It was kind of boring, and it doesn't have Deadpool in it. Just Janeway, who I don't really like in this episode, and Chakotay, which I do like. Okay. Well, that was fun. Thanks a lot for watching, folks. Hope you had a good time with us. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. We're going to have to skip next week because Brandon's out of town and I'm busy with stuff. So we're going to go ahead and not have a meeting next week, but we'll meet the week after. Hopefully, we'll do our level best to make it back, and we will have a single episode show that night and do some trivia at the start. So look forward to that. Thanks a bunch for being here, and we'll see you again real soon.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. You're so welcome, Brandon. I was Captain Logan. That was Brandon Grimm.
It was I.
And Adam Meredith. Later, folks.
Bye.